Okay, now I think we are ready. Yes. Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me from the previous events, my name is Adlercreutz, and I'm the CEO of Co-Founders. I founded Co-Founders some 4 years ago to help companies lead their brand and culture as one. I'm very happy to welcome you to our third Artful Leaders event. Together with me, I have Alexandra Marila, who works as a strategist here at Co-Founders. We have established this Artful Leaders Club to help companies lead their we have established this Artful Leaders Club to cherish eye-opening and also playful ways to observe and interpret the surrounding world. By creating this community, we want to invite people from different industries and from different functions to discuss topics that we believe are important when developing our business to be more environmentally and socially sustainable and all in all more meaningful. Today, we are going to try out something new and hopefully also something energizing. We will run a live sprint with 3 leaders to discover how photography can help us gain the resiliency needed when facing the challenges of so-called VUCA world, meaning the world that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. In this kind of reality, qualities such as empathy and resiliency are much appreciated and needed. Without further ado, I will now let Alex, who is here next to me, to go through our today's agenda and to introduce our guests. Please, Alex.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here, and thank you, Ia, for the introductions. So just to start with a few practicalities, please prepare a cup of your favorite tea. We're going to start with a tea ceremony to help you land, and also have a pen and paper at hand that might come useful also during the tea ceremony, but during the workshop as well. And for the comments or answering to any questions that we'll have during the live session, please write in the chat box, and you can share the thoughts from the event and anything you'd like afterwards on social media. So a few thoughts or a few notes actually about the event program overall. So yeah, we had this introduction, and I'm also going to introduce all of the other panelists we're going to have with us today. Like I mentioned, we're going to start with the tea ceremony and a sensorial journey, so inviting all of your senses to be more alive and also help you maybe clear your mind from the other busy parts of the day today. So we're going to have Mariko guide us through that, and then we're going to have a VUCA workshop together with Nanna Haninan, Jenni, Lukander, Lotta Waristo, and Kati, Hämäki. So I'm going to introduce them briefly in the next few minutes. Yeah, we're going to wrap up with a few takeaways at the end. So I'm going to invite now all of our moderators and panelists to turn on their videos as well. Welcome. Great. So Nanna Haninan is a photographer and a CEO of Neemo Ltd. She will be the one facilitating the VUCA World workshop, and she has been a conceptual artist for her entire career. She has over 20 years of experience as a photographic artist, studied at the Lahti Institute of Design and the Zurich University of the Arts, and then got her master's degree from University of Art and Design in Helsinki and at Aalto. And her artistic works are present in art collections, both in Finland as well as internationally. So with her expertise as an artist, she also developed a coaching and facilitation method based on photographic art called Neemo method. So Nanna will be using the Neemo method in the workshop today. Our other moderator, Mariko Yoshida, she's, oh, sorry, and Nanna, please say hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Iya. Thank you, co-founders.
Happy to have you. Mariko is a researcher, an MA in Nordic Visual Studies and Art Education at Aalto University. She is originally from Japan, but currently living in Finland. And she will be the one walking us through this multisensorial experience tea ceremony at the beginning. Mariko has a BA in International Economics. She also worked at Air Aroma Japan, so doing a lot of scent marketing and engagement as part of that role. So she's been working a lot with how does scent connect to our emotions and how does being exposed to different scents change our experience of places. And she has been working with corporate trainings as part of her studies at Aalto University and trainings that enhance creativity, well-being, and team building. So hi, Mariko, and welcome.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Iya, and then also Alex and co-founders. I'm so excited to have a tea with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. So then we're going to go into our guest panelists. So welcome as well. So our guest panelists will take part in the live workshop together with Nanna. So Jenni Lukander is president of Nokia Technologies. She has been responsible for managing Nokia's industry-leading patent portfolio, and she also advises the other Nokia business groups on their IP strategy. Before moving to this business role, she also held a number of senior legal and executive positions, including leading litigation, competition law, data privacy, and trade compliance. So before joining Nokia, Jenni was a senior associate at Rocher, one of the leading law firms in Helsinki. Welcome, Jenni.
Thank you so much. Very, very excited to join the panel today. Looking very much forward to this experiment.
Wonderful. Happy to have you. Our next panelist is Lotta Waristo. She's a head of culture journey at KONE. Lotta has 20 years of experience in international business and management roles across different industries. She is also a neuro leadership coach and a behavioral scientist, and she's trained over 2,000 global leaders and managers on developing their change leadership skills. In her work, Lotta always highlights the importance of emotional intelligence and motivation at work. And she's really dedicated to nurturing a healthy company culture. And before joining KONE, Lotta also had a long career at Nissan Nordic Europe. Welcome, Lotta.
Thank you. Great introduction. I'm very happy to be here with all the fellow non-colleagues and learn more from Nanna and Mariko as well, and all the people online.
Happy to have you. Thank you, Lotta. Our next panelist is Kati Ihamäki. She is Vice President Corporate Responsibility at OP Financial Group. She's a sustainable development professional, and she looks into sustainability goals at all levels, from a corporate, third sector, and as well as individual point of view. And Kati is also a strong believer in the fact that we need all of the players on board in order to achieve a better planet socially and ecologically. In addition to her work at OP, Kati is also a board member of ST1 Nordic, the Children and Youth Foundation, and she's also the vice chair and responsibility board of the Central Chamber of Commerce. And before joining OP, Kati had a long career at Finnair, where she also worked on corporate responsibility. Welcome, Kati.
Thank you. Not sure now. Okay, you can probably see me from my mobile now because it says that in the session itself, the host has muted my camera. So I don't know if, yeah.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I fixed it now for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good.
Okay. Yeah, now it should be okay. Yeah. So glad to be here. Very interested in the find out this, about this session. It's completely new to me, so happy to join.
Happy to have you all. So thank you. And now I will actually invite Mariko to guide us through the tea ceremony. So the rest of us, we can put the camera off and mute ourselves. And Mariko, welcome.
Yes.
So I will also disappear from the space and then let this be guided to you, but I will be changing the slides as you go.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, hi, welcome to our tea ceremony today. I'm Mariko, as Alex introduced me, and then I will be your guide in this short multisensory journey today. I would like to begin with one simple tea ceremony principle, Ichigo Ichie. It means once in a lifetime in Japanese. So I invited you to reflect on this experience as something that we only share once, here and now together. Okay, first, please take a moment to reflect on how you are feeling at this moment. Perhaps you are coming from busy meetings, or perhaps you have a lot of work on your mind, and then or the house chore in your mind, or maybe what's you're gonna eat for the lunch or something, and then just write it down on a piece of paper, the feeling that come up for you now. Then they can be described words like anxious, stress, or relaxed, happy, tired, or maybe hungry. Or you can also express your feeling with shapes, line, or color if you have those close to you. So let's take 1 minute to check in with ourselves. Okay, welcome back. Now we are going to have a tea together in this room. Thank you. This is Taian, a Japanese tea house designed by the great master Sen no Rikyu in 1582. It is one of the oldest tea rooms in Japan, and then also it's become a national heritage in Japan. And then imagine that you step in this room, and then how do you feel to be there? Like, do you enjoy the light coming from the window, or how does this space feel like? Is it warm or cold, maybe a bit of humid? Or what kind of people are there with you? Maybe, or are you alone? Start sipping your tea and then open up your senses and take a moment to smell the tea before tasting. Actually, I prepared a green tea with the antique Arabia cup. And then so let's the flavor open up fully while you drink it. Please take your time and then concentrate only on your sensorial feeling without rushing. And cherish the moment in the room, concentrate the silence. And then find a sense of gratefulness of this small pause from everything around you. Okay, now in your own time, write down your feeling at this moment with 1 minute. Okay, so next, I'm gonna invite you to share them with us in the chat box. Please write it down. How did you feel before stepping into the room? And then how did you feel afterwards? Did you notice any differences, the feeling before and then after? And in what way? Of course, like if you are uncomfortable to share, you can keep them in your heart. But I'm really happy to see what you find things. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. You can keep write it down on chat, and then thank you for your wonderful feelings and findings. It's really, there's great findings for me as well. And as you feel in this activity that like our emotions are widely influenced by our senses, such as scent and visual. So according to the research, 70% of all emotion generated every day are due to scent, like this graph shows. It's quite surprising. And so scent has a crucial role when it comes to activating our emotions, which means that the scent also influences our well-being. Think of the perfume that your mother used to wear when you were a child, and then also, or maybe your grandparents' house, what's it like? And it's my personal experience that when I visit my friend's cottage in Finland, once I step in her cottage, my memories in my grandparents in Japan flashback. Even it's a totally different places. So that scent has a power to get rise of subliminal emotions and then memories. So by being more connected to our senses during our daily lives, we can stimulate those parts of the brain that lead us to be more present and more open and more creative and more resilience when facing the unknown situation. Okay, thank you for listening, and then enjoy your sensorial journey.
Thank you, Mariko. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our attendees as well for checking in and sharing with us a little bit of this experience. So thank you again. Great. Now let's dive into the VUCA workshop together with Nanna, Jenni, Lotta, and Kati. So welcome, and please open up your cameras and your microphones. And I'm going to also give the presentation rights to Nanna.
Thank you, Alex. Just a second.
Okay, now you have host rights, so you should be able to
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Hello, everyone, from my behalf also, and thank you very much for co-founders to make this happen. Welcome to audience, welcome to panelists to this Neemo workshop on VUCA world. My name is Ananda Haninan, and as Alex very nicely introduced me before, I'm conceptual photographic artist and the founder and CEO of Neemo Method. I'm also the Neemo Master Coach, which means that I teach others to use the method. And I have truly been on as a photographic artist for over 20 years before developing Neemo Method. And in my early careers as an artist, I worked quite traditionally, exhibiting in museums and galleries, selling my artworks to public and private collections all around the world. But around 10 years ago, I started to work to bring my artworks also to organizations and into the business world. And then finally, I established Neemo in 2016. And Neemo's mission is to reframe human connection between people and to kind of unlock the hidden potential in all of us. And our value statement in Neemo is very much related to VUCA world, because it's being secure with the unknown. And it has few different meanings for us. First of all, it refers to artistic and creative processes where you always have this state of not knowing. It's very important state to be able to be in this not knowing position when you start to create something new. It also equals to innovation processes. You don't know what you are going to innovate next or what will your idea become. So you first start with an idea and you start to proceed that. And of course, there is a possibility of failure as well present. And yet you need to continue with your practice. But secondly, it also refers to the complex and uncertain VUCA world that we are living in, as we have currently also witnessed how difficult it is to really predict the future, and how the meaning of our lives and our work has also shifted or have new perspectives now due to the situation we are currently living. So in Neemo, we want to encourage people to be more secure or even enjoy themselves in front of the unknown, and still be able to kind of feel some sort of security in front of it, because that's for certain. We never will know exactly what the future will bring us. So why we are using art in this in organizations and business world and in this discussion, for example? Well, art, for example, can help us to imagine, because it is a form of thinking. And it is about studying the world from new perspectives, from unseen perspectives. It can be about processing personal matters as well, not only for the artists, but also for the viewers. It is about creating visual dialogue, at least when we speak about photographic art. Pictures speak to other pictures and pictures speak to us. Of course, for me at least, and for many, art is about aesthetics. And aesthetics, certain aesthetics can calm us down, can help us to calm down. Well, one important reason why we use art is because it's free from limitations, unlike research, for example, which is very defined, what you can do and what not. So in art, when you use art in organizational context, you are allowed to play as an adult, and that's very important. And the most important reason why we in Neemo use art is because it's open to limitless interpretations. Whatever I see in this picture that we are looking at now may be totally different on what you are going to see in it. And they are both perfectly fine. They are both correct answers, because everyone has their own interpretation to each artwork. And that's what makes art also very equal, and the way how we use it. So our clients often say that why they enjoy using art-based methods in their workplaces is because they can fully participate, and that participation kind of strengthens their commitment to their work communities. And also art helps us to talk about difficult matters sometimes, because we can speak about the picture. We don't have to speak exactly about the difficult matter. So that actually makes it smaller. It's easier to speak about difficult matters. And of course, art helps us to know each other. When we reveal our thinking through artworks, we learn from ourselves and from the others very much more than in a usual discussion that we are having. And like many say, that when we bring art to organizational context, it helps us to listen and pause in this hectic world. And that's also a very, very important reason why we bring art to workplaces. But I have given to our lovely panelists Kati, Lotta, and Jenni an Neemo art assignment. I have given you few artworks in prior this workshop, and you have chosen yours to describe your relationship towards the unknown. And here I would encourage all the listeners as well to think about your relationships towards the unknown, and you can put it in the chat box what you are thinking about it. But let's look at some artworks. So Lotta has chosen the first artwork that we are seeing here. This artwork is called Mother's Handbag, and it has an extra name, which is the importance of curiosity and other mysteries of life. And in this artwork, there is present 3 different generations, because it is my mother's handbag, and it is me who is taking the photograph, the artwork, and it's my daughter who is holding the bag. So there are 3 generations present in this image. Of course, this young girl is looking for the woman's handbag and thinking about her future, possibly. But it also talks about that how generations, the knowledge travels from one generation to next one, and also the habits. And very many habits and knowledge is good that is transferring. And there is also sometimes habits that, we all wish they wouldn't be there. We seem like our mothers and fathers, and might be that sometimes we don't like it. So it talks about that as well. But Lotta, what do you think about this artwork? Why did you choose this one to describe your relationship towards the unknown? Please, Lotta, stage is yours.
Thank you, Nanna. So I must have just looked at the photos and not read the names of the options, because I pretty much think that I might not have chosen this one if I had known that this is what it's called. And I'll soon explain why, but first maybe why did I pick this one? So just by looking at the photo, I felt that the handbag, it was obviously unfamiliar to me, so it is not something I own or have, and I see the hand going into the handbag, and it just spoke to me the most in terms of being something unfamiliar or uncertain, to put your hand in somebody else's handbag, not knowing what is inside and what will happen. And also I felt that the colors of the photo were a little bit dark and gloomy, and that there was something maybe scary inside that handbag. But now that I know the name of this photo, if I imagine my own mother's handbag, so I almost started crying now when you explained this, because my mother passed away rather recently. So I know exactly what was in all of her handbags. I've gone through all of them and all her personal belongings. So for me, that would not have been scary anymore. If I had known the name of this, I might not have chosen it. Because I've done exactly that you describe. I've put my hand in all her handbags. So then it's not so unfamiliar or scary anymore. But I love the story you had behind the photo, and can imagine the emotion that you maybe went through when you were taking this photograph. But that was the first impression I had when I looked at it.
Thank you, Lotta. That was a very emotional speech that you just gave to us. I'm sorry for your loss. This is a perfect example of that I was thinking about something else when I took this photograph and presented this as an artwork, and you as a viewer had a totally different interpretation. And yet somewhere there is a link, because this girl, when she's going for the first time into the handbag, she doesn't know what is in there. It's uncertain. And on the other hand, there are many things in generations that, they travel in the generations, and we actually we kind of live them, but we don't know them. There are many secrets in our families, as we all know. Nowadays, maybe not so much anymore, but in the previous generations, like in my mother's generations, there were lots of secrets in the families that couldn't be spoken out. But thank you, Lotta. I will ask now, Kati, what do you think about Lotta's interpretation?
I just got very touched about what you said about the mother's handbag, because I kind of had a similar situation in the family recently, but with my father. But still, I've been going through his belongings, and kind of feel for that. And then again, when you said that it's the kind of dark picture in a sense, but then again, unknown there what it is inside, and that then again made me happy, because I thought that this is the situation with my own handbag every day. I know that everything is inside, but when I put my hand in the bag, I don't know what's gonna come up first. You probably, some of you share the same situation. You know that it is there, but at the moment you feel a bit lost, and then kind of like, is it there, or have I lost it? And then you know that, okay, if I just calm down and then put my hand in, it's gonna be there, and I'm gonna find it. So kind of share your feelings in both what you said, what you had thought if you've known the name, and then again when you didn't know, how you felt about the and then I think the kind of the whole picture is very beautiful, and the setting and all that, and especially now hearing the story behind it, I appreciate it even more.
Thank you, Kati. How about Jenni? What is these stories that you have heard? What do you think? Do you have something to say to Lotta or Kati?
No, so first of all, Lotta, thank you for sharing that very personal story, and Kati as well. I think I have also have a similar experience where I have gone through the department of a father who we had to move to a assisted living facility, and there were things that we found that we didn't know before, and some maybe secrets and things like that. At the same time, I think just looking at the purse and thinking about mother and thinking about, let's say, being a mother, this also reminded myself of a period of time in my own life when I had children, and I went to cafeteria to buy lunch, and was about to take out my wallet from the purse, but what actually fell out was a baby's diaper, which I used to carry. Always I had some diapers in my purse just in case. So I think purses, and they are very, very personal, and they really reflect what you're going through in your own personal life. So it's very deep emotions when you actually start thinking about the picture.
Thank you, Jenni. Yeah, you kind of mentioned also trust when you go to someone else's bag. You need trust, and on the other hand, it reflects of our life situation. And also when we have children, they are very much a mystery to us. We don't know what kind of future they will have and how they will grow. And at least my son is a mystery to me. I don't understand him. But thank you. This was a very nice discussion with this artwork, and it was very personal, I would say. Let's go to the next artwork that actually Jenni and Kati, you have both chosen this artwork. It's called Now is the Now. It's quite minimal artwork. It's just a piece of paper scrambled together, and there is this text. It has rather long story to how it kind of came out, this artwork. It was maybe 10 years ago that a Buddhist Lama came into my hometown here in Kuopio, where I'm placed. And I went to listen to his speech. He was speaking about how to run a good life, or how could you say that? And when he was speaking, I had the feeling that he was addressing the speech all the time towards me, and only to me. Everything he was saying was kind of relating to me. And I asked then after the speech if I could speak privately with him, and I got the audience for the next day. So I prepared 3 questions for the Lama, and I asked them through interpreter because he didn't speak my language, or I didn't speak his. I asked him firstly that how can I go further with the fact that the career doesn't go always just upwards. Life doesn't go just upward, but it has bumps, and you have challenges, difficulties. Life is not easy, and especially when you talk about family or work life, it's never easy. And how to kind of appreciate myself in maybe not being so successful at the moment. And then I asked him, because I was a single mother at that time, I asked him what to do to kind of get enough money to feed my kids. And then I also asked him, what should I do, because you are a Buddhist Lama, what should I do to calm myself down when my kids drive me crazy? Well, he answered first that we shouldn't never take for granted something that we have once had. Whatever honorable mentions we have in life, we shouldn't carry them with us. As we shouldn't walk into the room like, don't you know who I am? We should never carry those with us, not money, not material, not anything that we have achieved, but we should separate them from our own person, and we should appreciate this person as we are, no matter what we have achieved or not achieved in life. Secondly, he said that, if your purpose as a mother is to feed your kids, so do whatever you have to do, move to Helsinki, to New York, find job, do whatever you have to do to feed your kids, that's your job. And then thirdly, he said that next time when your children drive you crazy, go to YouTube and listen Dalai Lama speeches. And so I did once, to listen his speeches. And in one speech he said that remember that there is no other time that you can have an effect on. But this time, the past is past. You can't do anything anymore. The future is an imagination. So now is the now. This is the time that we can have an effect on. And actually, when Mariko was talking before about this Ichiko Ichir situation, this once in a lifetime moment, I kind of had a sense of relating this into this artwork. But anyway, it was a long story about the artwork, and I know your stories will be totally different, but maybe we start with Jenni. What do you think? Why did you choose this artwork to resample your relationship towards the unknown? Please.
Thank you, Nanna. Well, there was a lot in what you just shared. I'm actually very touched about it, and maybe talking about Dalai Lama. I think he has once said that we all should every year try to travel to a place where we've never been before for life's inspiration, and actually did that during the Corona period when there was a lockdown, but the border between Finland and Norway was open. So I had always had this dream of going hiking to the mountains of Norway. And this is what happened. So we drove up 2 days, we drove to Norway, and it was really stunningly beautiful. The hiking there in the mountains. So I warmly recommend that. But anyway, why did I pick this? So it was about sort of this unknown theme that you, Nanna, had challenged us to think about. So this somehow I felt like that I always feel like that in every moment in time or my life, I'm sort of building something. And I don't necessarily know what it will be, but I've sort of learned through experience in my life that when I keep on building and I do things in a way that I believe is good, so then something will come up, and you will just end up creating something, whether it's let's say a work product at work, or whether it's a relationship that you might be building with a person, or whether it's like running a business and thinking that you know where to go. And there are all these uncertainties. You don't know whether you will succeed or not, and that of course is at times a bit stressful. But sort of kind of maybe that comes with experience, that when you kind of keep on building, and building means that you take certain different steps, and you also kind of accept that there are probably many iterations of that work and lots of drafts while you build that something. And somehow what I saw in this picture was a piece of creation of something bigger. There's a very big sentence there. I mean, in terms of like emotionally a very big sentence. Now is the now. I mean, we're all living now, right now, but we also have the future. But somehow, like, to me, I just saw that this was a sort of a draft that was a necessary part in my life when building something, but then accepting that I'm also moving on and hopefully creating something bigger for the rest of my life. So somehow that was the thought that came to my mind when I looked at this picture.
Thank you, Jenni. It was a beautiful story. I heard you saying that you just keep going on, even though you might fail, and you start again, you iterate, you make a new draft, and you keep going, and not only in work life but in private life as well. Thank you. Let's ask also Kati what she thinks about this why she chose it, and then we have a discussion all together. So please, Kati, you can also share your thoughts if you have something to say to Jenni, but maybe you want to say first. You can choose.
Thank you. I think you both said some of my thoughts already as well. So for me, I'm very eager always about the future. I'm very eager to know what's happening, but in a sense, I'm also afraid, because I always want to know more. I always want to have, how would I say in English, but I want to have a kind of a long studies or pitkä oppimäärä about the things I need to know, and then you cannot know about the future. So even though I'm eager for change and learning more and knowing more, but the situation where you don't know yet, where you cannot know, is kind of hard for me at the moment. Also in my personal life, but also in the work life as we speak. So that's why this exact picture was chosen, or I chose it. Then again, I sometimes, when we are kind of taking or doing the change in the kind of stepping to something new, I feel sadness also, because I also feel that sometimes we kind of throw the paper away, or we wrinkle the paper and no, this is not working anymore, next one. And I still want to keep something, and maybe a bit what Jenni said, that to learn also from the past actions, not just throw it away to the dustbin or so, but also to learn, take something good out and the learnings out. But for myself to learn that now is would be very important, to kind of let go from the old, just keep the good things that I've learned and we all have learned, and then accept the fact that I cannot know about the future yet, but try to live the now moment and kind of take everything out of it. And I just said to my sons when that I'm now in the middle of so many changes in my life that I cannot really concentrate on their issues that well that I wanted to. But then I thought myself, but why cannot? Because their things are here now, so I should and let go a little bit of worrying about the future or missing the past. And so this is something that really touches me, that now is the now, and my life is also now. Their life is happening now, and I should be able to kind of help them in their current situation, not worrying about my future or my past or so. Yeah, in that sense, but yeah.
Thank you, Kati. You just told us very important message, also related to your children, that the challenges are there now, and we should deal with them now, because tomorrow they are grown up and away from our homes. You also talk about acceptance of the situation, and you said curiosity, or I heard curiosity towards the future, which is the opposite of fear, but you also talk about fear and learning from the past. Thank you, Kati. What about Lotta? You have been listening now, Kati and Jenni, and seeing this artwork. What kind of thoughts do you have now about the unknown?
Yeah, so I was listening to all of you. I agree, obviously. Maybe it is reflecting the kind of, like, when my story was more about the gloom and doom, in a way, of uncertainty being something a little bit scary. Here I hear a lot about positives as well, and this kind of belief and will and being present in the moment. And these are all positive things, I feel. And something also at KONE that we are focused on is this kind of, I see this not as a lost opportunity, but maybe this paper reflects a little bit like something that was tried out and then trashed. And at KONE also we're trying to celebrate mistakes. So kind of it's okay because we learned something. So in a way, this was very positive photo in my perception of this kind of, it's not that we lost something, but we actually learned something by trying out. So this iteration, similar to what Jenni was saying, and celebrating that we at least one option off the table, kind of a way, which I guess helps one step at a time. It's a little bit the same as now is the now. It's also every second we are creating the future. So little steps by step, and you'll get somewhere. So for me, this was very positive discussion and photo.
Thank you, Lotta. I had same sensations, that first we were kind of in the scary side, and now we are actually seeing the options and potentiality in the unknown. If we can be without fear and face the unknown, there are lots of potential in it. Jenni, do you have anything to comment yet to Kati or Lotta?
Very nice thoughts and nicely sort of captured. And I think this now is the now and being present, I think, especially in your children's lives, but not just the children, but all the people that you are interacting with, and sort of maybe pausing for a while to think about others and things that they might be going through. So it's also very, very important message and something to reflect about. Reflect.
Yeah.
And probably something you can never do enough in your busy everyday life.
Yeah, that's very true. And now we have been in a lockdown for a long time, so So when we start to meet people again, we should remember this now is the now and appreciate the moment of meeting someone. How beautiful it is actually to be with someone else in the same room.
Indeed.
Thank you, Jenni, and thank you, Kati and Lotta, for the first part of our discussion where we used art. It's strange for me also because I don't know you before. I have met you shortly here in Zoom, but I feel that I know you much more now when we have been having this quite emotional discussion. And in the next phase, we will know you even more because I have given you a Neemo photo assignment. And the question was, what makes you resilient? And if you have seen Kati, Jenni, or Lotta taking lots of photographs in your surroundings in past few days, then it is because of the Neemo assignment that you have been doing. And again, for the audience, you may answer into the chat box what makes you resilient. But let's look at the photographs that you have taken. We have here first Lotta's photograph, but before you, Lotta, explain to us what resilience means to you or what makes you resilient, let's ask for Jenni to interpret your photograph. Jenni, what do you think what Lotta has been thinking about?
I believe that she's someone who at times wants to go out to the nature and just enjoy the tranquility, have a walk with either by herself or with a dog or a friend or a partner, and just recharge the batteries there and sort of take a sort of a Zen moment for herself. And maybe with that energy, she will bounce back and have the strength to do her everyday tasks. So that's what comes to my mind when I look at this and think of Lotta.
Thank you, Jenni. Lotta, was that somewhere nearby?
Well, I think it's also true. This one was maybe more metaphorical, the photo that I took. So shall I explain? Or
yes, please. Yes, please. We are curious.
Yes. So this is first of all taken really close to my house. So it is a path that I often used to walk with my dog, and but when I was thinking about what makes me resilient, and then I went and took the photo, I was trying to find a place that is, a long way and maybe a little bit dark and gloomy. Actually, it was quite sunny that day, so I had to make this black and white a little bit. But then when I actually made the photo black and white, it felt a bit too gloomy. So I added a bit of green, because I think after showing resilience and going through mudded paths and swamps and whatnot, there's always something that lies ahead and keeps you going. So a little ray of sunshine or some greenery at the end. So I felt that the path can be difficult, but if you have will, there is a way. So that's my reflection about resilience, maybe.
Thank you. It's a beautiful image, I have to say. You have been working a lot on it, as you told. It's beautiful. So thank you. Do you have something to say, Kati, for Lotta before we go to next photograph?
Well, I a little bit thought of what Lotta just said, that I thought that she was thinking, and it can be a rocky road or muddy road at the beginning, but then you see the path in the end, which is then more it's cleaner and it's dry and it's kind of a greener again. So very much share what you thought about it, and then also as Jenni said, I thought that it is the nature that keeps us Finns mostly also kind of energetic and resilient. And we need sometimes also the time alone to reflect and get over our like busy thoughts or excitement or anxiety, maybe.
Thank you, Kati. Important words. Maybe in other culture, other people don't need the being alone. We Finns need that. But if we go to the southern Europe, they might need the others to actually achieve the same. Let's go to the next photograph. And this is actually Kati's photograph. And now I ask Lotta to look at this photograph for a second and think about what Kati has been thinking or wanting to say to us, to communicate to us.
Well, my initial very first reaction is Kati an ice swimmer maybe, and she has the resilience and endurance to last all winter long and go into the lake or sea. So that was my first reaction. But then I guess some of the same things would apply as well, this solitude and peaceful nature and the scenery here and the quietness maybe that gives us Finns some strength. Yeah, so really wondering that side of Kati, I don't know. So, but it seems a bit like it's getting colder, or maybe it's just today's weather in Helsinki area that it's chilly outside. That feels like this is maybe a cold photo, but yeah, definitely having endurance.
Thank you, Lotta. Kati, please tell us what you have been thinking and maybe what Lotta has just said. Maybe you can comment on that as well.
Yeah, a lot was true about the ice swimming or swimming in the cold waters, and that's I wanted to have this picture because that's something that I used to hate cold water. I only went swimming when it was warm enough, and nowadays I kind of get my resilience going to the cold water as well, and I feel strong. This is from our countryside, and then every time I wake up in the warm bed. And I thought that I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But if I don't do it, I kind of feel bad about myself. So I get myself going, just waking up directly without sauna, without any breakfast, without just going straight from the bed to the cold water. And then I feel strong again. It's like, I did it, I can do it. And then I hope to get this attitude towards the other things that I used to didn't, I didn't like that much in the past, so maybe I can go towards them as well and learn to like those things and learn more about myself. Also, I wanted to have this picture in because this is I went through my pictures and just before the assignment actually, and I saw that there are so many pictures from the same spot, and I always it is the same spot, but there is every time I seem to think that there is something new in the picture as well. There is something, the colors are a bit different, or then it's a change of the seasons or something. So I have exactly the same pictures. I don't know how many, but every time that I go there, it's a familiar thing at the same time, but every time I find something new from it. And also kind of it keeps me calm at the same time, because that's something that I've used to having the same view, but then again, it's excited again every time to learn something new, and then again, kind of do something that I used to not hate, but I didn't like it, and now I do like it, and I get strength out of it. So I hope I could go towards that in every field of my life, and then learn something about myself also doing that.
Thank you, Kati. That was beautiful. So you kind of have a checkup every morning how you are feeling, whether you resist more or less about going into the water. And the easiest thing is, of course, just to stay in bed or on sofa. But you kind of win yourself every day. I love it. Jenni, what do you think about this story?
No, I was also about to say that, Kati, it sounds to me that you're a winner every day. It's a really great thing and must be a great feeling. I'm not yet there. I must say I'm still in the space where I hate to go into cold water. So I just gave me a challenge. So maybe one day I'll do something similar. I just don't have any water nearby, so I would need to take a cold shower at home.
Thank you, Jenni. Yeah, I feel you. Thank you, Kati. So let's go to the last photograph, and this is Jenni's photograph. And Kati, what do you think? What makes Jenni resilient?
This is again about nature. As said, it's probably something that we, especially we Finns, feel that gives us resilience and calmness and also energy. Then again, I kind of feel that even though it's darker in the kind of down there in the towards the one end of the picture, but then again you see the sunlight up, and it's kind of lighting up some of the branches, so that there is always light, and light is shining somewhere. And then of course, I don't know if this is taller, this tree than the others, but it feels very strong in the front of the picture, and it's getting the sunlight to its branches. But then again, you also need the other trees and the other part of the nature under the tall one to keep it up and keep it there. So I don't know if that's anything, but that's what are my initial feelings about the picture and how you might think and look at it.
Thank you, Kati. Let's hear what Jenni has to say about it.
Well, that was a very nice interpretation of the picture, by the way. So, so this picture is actually taken, this is the view from my bedroom window. So we happen to live on top of a mountain, and then kind of underneath there are trees growing. And when I look from we have a big window in our bedroom, so when we open the curtains, so you will have this view. And somehow I just don't get enough of it. I can lie during the weekend in my bed, and just in the morning just stay in the bed and just look at this tree. And it's sort of somehow a source of tranquility and you know, a moment of being with your own thoughts, perhaps. Also, it changes very often, because of course, you know, this morning, for example, it was frosty. Sometimes there might be a stormy weather, and you would see the trees swaying quite much, and actually the top of it actually moves many meters, because it is a very big tree. I think it's probably something like 20 meters long. But why it's sort of somehow sort of when I thought about resilience and what makes me resilient, and then I thought that, well, I'm gonna photograph this tree. So it's also because why this tree is so resilient, and why does it take all the, you know, the hits of the weather conditions. So it's obviously deeply rooted somewhere, since it's grown so tall, and it's still standing there very tall. And then I thought about sort of resilience and myself, and I thought that, well, it's probably goes back to my own roots, and I thought about my childhood, how I had a family where I really had a very happy childhood, and also a family where I was allowed to be a child, and sort of kind of those happy memories, they probably are something that I carry. But then also maybe what I learned about, you know, what's right and what's wrong, and the values that I learned when I was a child, and I have been living up to those values, sort of trying to do good things, being positive, respecting other people, and also trying to treat other people, the way that I would want myself to be treated. And I think that and those values probably have given me the resilience to then be able to survive, even if there are some storms or winterly conditions, somehow that I might face myself in life. So kind of going back to those values and living my life in a certain way. So I think that has sort of, brought me resilience.
Thank you, Jenni. That was very, very interesting to hear and touching to hear. So you kind of are leaning onto your values, and whenever there is a storm in your life, you can always lean on your values. I have never thought it that way in my personal life. So thank you for sharing it. Lotta, what do you think about this story?
I don't know if it's appropriate to say, but I would love to be in Jenni's bed.
Me too.
So it reminds me also of my childhood house, and now that my mother passed away, my father started cutting some trees down, and there is a similar type of a tree like this, and he was asking me if it's okay that it's cut down, because there's a lot of these like pine seeds that come onto the terrace that are not so nice. And I'm happy I had some resilience to say no, because that's also my childhood memory, that I was watching this tree from the window. And luckily we're moving soon to a new house where I will have a similar type of a tree and a view from my child's new bedroom window. So I'm really happy that he gets to have this kind of same experience. It's really nice to see the scenery change and the same trees grow. So that brings back happy memories. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Lotta. And thank you, Kati and Jenni, for this discussion. I would like to now talk shortly with you about the experience of using art as a discussion tool, and about the experience for photographing these beautiful photographs. I have to say, all of you have brought so beautiful photographs into the discussion, but please let's have a short round about how it has been for you to discuss through this kind of facilitation through art-based methods and photography. So maybe Kati, because you accidentally raised your hand, you can now be the first.
Yeah, I quickly noticed and took it down. No, like I said, I always want to be on top of the things and know everything. So sometimes it's kind of it's hard for me to start or do something that I'm not very able to do, or I don't know beforehand what to do, or don't know about the topic. And yesterday when we had the pre-discussion, I felt so good when you all said that in order to analyze these pictures, you don't have to be an art enthusiast, or you don't have to know all that, because there are no right answers, but you can kind of go with your heart rather than with your brain, in a sense, and to kind of let it go and give up a little bit. It's very healthy for myself as well, even though I'm a person like this, but still I kind of try to keep up with the things that I do, the things that I know well, and then at the same time love learning new things. And this was exactly something, learning new, and then kind of somebody just commented also what I felt, that we are sharing things that you don't usually share with the strangers at the first encounters, and that's what we all did. And then even kind of a very touchy moments or personal issues, and so maybe this kind of a method really helps to go deeper and not just have an ordinary discussion about the kind of a business developments or sharing just one thing about your personal, but rather we went quite deep, all of us, I think.
Thank you, Kati. Yeah, that's one benefit of Neemo, that it's because it takes us very fast, very deep. It makes it effective tool to discuss and to develop whatever you are doing. It can be strategy, it can be values or mission at workplace. But when you bring your personal emotions to the development work, you actually are very effective in developing that whatever you are doing, because you are already on it and committed. So it's not like stick on top of it, but you are actually in it, and that makes it so effective. Thank you, Kati, for sharing. How about Jenni? How was it for you using art and photography?
It was a very, very nice experience. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I have very similar thoughts to those of Kati's, and I think this can be a very effective tool in terms of, especially when thinking in the work life, bringing teams and team members closer to each other, and creating understanding of each other, because I think we all have our own stories to share, and you should never underestimate what stories the other people around you have, so that you can take their thoughts into consideration. So I think this is a very, very effective method, must say.
Thank you very much, Jenni. That warms my heart. How about Lotta? How has it been for you?
Well, first of all, thank you, Nanna, for facilitating the discussion. It felt very safe. So even though I can see that there are a lot of people on the line, I at least forgot that there were so many people on the line and just focused on experiencing the journey with you. So for me, this was very pleasant, and also it felt very safe to know that somebody else was seeing the same things. It was quite safe to voice out even some emotions here that we don't typically maybe always take to the workplace or to the workday. So and I feel quite refreshed, and didn't feel like it was very hard to do this, even though we didn't really know what to expect from the discussion. So very good, nice experience, and I can't believe it's almost lunchtime soon. So the time just flew by.
Thank you, Lotta. It's very often said in Neemo workshops that it's not brainwashing but brain cleaning, even though the work is quite hard, because you have to think a lot about how to kind of transfer an image to words and then back to an image if you have to photograph. So it's hard for the brain, but in the end, your brain is cleaned from some external mud that might be in there. So I'm very happy to hear that you experienced this, and you also said that in a way you explained that you could concentrate very well. You forgot everything outside this situation that we are having, even the viewers that are the participants that are here, and we kind of together were in a flow feeling, which also interesting work and art can enable us to do. So I thank you, of course, from my side also that you came to this discussion, this facilitated discussion and experiment. And thank you, co-founders, very much. I hope for all of us that we let ourselves to expose to art in art galleries or museums or concert halls, and to seek for these experiences, to seek for this comfort and new perspectives that art can bring us, and not only into our personal life, but also for the business life and for the organizations, to give a memorable and effective thing for us to let us have this experience together. So thank you from my side as well. I will hand over to Ia and Alex. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nanna, and thank you all for throwing yourselves into this experiment. I mean, it's been so valuable. I was thinking throughout the whole session, like, I wonder how many business books or books on leadership I should read to gain so much. I mean, just as you also mentioned, Lotta, so time flew, and I think it's amazing how much wisdom there can be put in 1 hour only. A lot of insights. It's interesting how it seems to me that, I could immediately spot sort of the sort of leadership approaches, and I recognize myself actually in Kati. I'm a very spontaneous person, and for once I thought that I'll open this by having a script. I opened this event by having a script, and of course I screw up. So I lost sort of the track on the script. It disappeared somewhere, and as I had it scripted, I totally lost the track. And I learned something about myself. First of all, I learned that, okay, so do believe in your strengths. So never have a script. I have noticed this probably 10 or 20 times before. Now maybe I take the learning. But then also about resilience. When we then entered the discussions about past is past, I could let go. So I was, of course, furious on myself, like, how on earth did I just lose the script? But then when we talked about a past is past, I immediately realized, okay, past is past. And I love even more the now is the now, because that actually allows us to be in this very session together now. And I really appreciate your sort of way of opening to each other, because I think I tend to say that we are a sum of all the people that we meet. And I think it's a beautiful idea, because also going back to the phrase of how to help, he said, like, you are a winner every day, Kati, that you go down and have this swim, and all of us, we can help each other and ourselves to be winners every day. A lot of wisdom in this session, and going back to what Nanna said, I truly believe that one of the group that I find is maybe has the biggest benefit of this kind of approaches are the ones who really stick to the rational. So engineers, for example, the impact is biggest among them. You definitely don't need to be an art lover or know art in order to use art as a method. Quite the opposite. It allows you to bring in subjectivity, tacit knowledge. And I think this is so valuable. And I think we could all be spokespersons for this kind of approach in our companies. As said, we are some of the people that we meet, and also company culture consists of people and their behaviors. So without further ado, I think we are approaching our time limit. But I'd like Alex, you to maybe tell our listeners how they can become members in the Artful Leaders Club. We are going to organize events like this, and also more lecture type events also in the future, approximately once every quarter. And I think it's really nice to have as many leaders as possible joining. Also, please, all of our listeners, please tell to your networks about this, because I think this is quite fresh and new approach to observing and interpreting the world, the VUCA world, as said. Also, I think what is valuable in this is that now that you will meet each other for the first time live, now referring to Jenni, Kati and Lotta, I'm sure that you will start from a different place that you would otherwise. And also, it's quite interesting how even when we have been working with people for quite a while, how little we know of them. How little we know of them, and that creates lack of empathy. It's not that we are not empathetic; it's that we don't focus, we don't know people, and then we are also in a hurry. as also I think Jenni very nicely put it, like we are often in a hurry and we have to stop in order to feel. And I think art helps us find this connection to our inner selves and to other people as well. But now I let Alex to give some details on how you can join Artful Leaders Club. I wish you all a very nice autumn and winter. We are getting the first shivering colds now, so with a little bit of resilience, I'm sure we can make it till warmer days again. Thank you so much on my behalf. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Really, really inspiring discussion and also very personal. And it's just a huge reminder of the fact that we go into workplaces as people and we carry with us everything we're going through personally, and we're not sort of detached from that. So the more we understand that about ourselves and we're merciful and understanding about ourselves, the more we will be able to understand other people as well. And we're big believers in the fact that this also really helps company cultures evolve and build in a solid way. I will share my screen now briefly, just to give you an overview of how you can join the Artful Leaders Club. Bear with me 1 second. I think, yeah. Nanna was a host, so now I just needed to be able to share my screen again. Okay, hopefully you see it at the moment. So you can join our Artful Leaders Club, like Ia mentioned at the beginning. It's a network of daring and forward-thinking leaders. We have a lot of people on our list at the moment, but if you wish to join and also receive invitations for the next events, so happy to receive your emails. You can send one directly to me. Thank you again. A pleasure hosting this event, and let's hope next time we meet live and in a even more personal way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.